What's up, everybody? I had a thing happen and I lost the other world. So, what I'm going to do is I have generated a brand new world for us. And I am going to, instead of putting y'all through that first few days of early game grind, I'm going to go ahead and do those and I'll get right back to you. So, here we go. And we're back, everybody. And what I've done here is I've started a little rudimentary tree farm with some acacia, dark oak. I've even got some oak back there, some spruce trees. Of course, all of my favorite wood. As you can hear, there are some monster sounds. Let me back up just a little bit, quieten them down. Right over there, where that torch is on top of a fence post, there's actually a huge cave that is going to be directly under my base, and I'll be exploring that probably off camera. I really haven't had time to do it yet, and as you can see, I've collected a few sheep and a few cows. Of course, I'm preparing for going to the Nether and enchanting. I've also started a sugarcane farm. Kind of a farm, not really. I just planted a bunch of it right next to the water. It's been producing pretty well. As you can see, I stopped having to separate my field by individual rows because I'm no longer worried about like how quickly it grows. I'm more worried about the quantity of food that I can get, mainly for feeding these, hungry hippos over here, and also for doing some villager trading. I also wound up finding a few melon seeds, and I've been slowly growing melons. And there's a village right over that hill behind me that we are going to start doing some villager trading and probably even start a villager trading hall. And one of the things that I will do before I make the villager trading hall is, as you can see, if you look a little bit further behind me in this direction, there's a swamp. And there's a really cool thing that you can do that does not generate in your normal Minecraft world, and that is you can produce your own swamp villagers. And they're actually really cool looking. They've got like a purple and green outfit to them, and I want to say it looks like they also wear like a leaf on top of their head, which is I don't know. I just think they look really cool, and the fact that they can't be generated except by you making them in the game, that they're just impressive. But before we do that, I think what I want to do is go ahead and get a starter base going. So that's what I want to do. Now, when I'm building a starter base, first thing I like to do, of course, there are large scale. You really want to have a big enough area that you can do all of pretty much anything that you want to. And if you want to expand it, you can expand it. If you don't, and you like the size of it as it is, you don't have to. Um, the thing that I also like to do is I like to pick out a nice view. When you're coming out of your starter house or really any base that you decide to make, the big thing that you want to have more than anything is you want to have a nice view. And I've talked about the beauty of Minecraft, but really, I mean, think about it. If in IRL you were walking out of your front porch and you saw a view like this, you paid for that house. Well, the nice thing about Minecraft is you don't have to pay for it; you just have to build it yourself. Now, as I said before, a lot of people like building just a basic, box for their starter house. And building a box, that's okay, but boxes are kind of boring. And what I like to do is I like to just sort of look around my area, and this island I did terraform out to be pretty even. I don't think it's 100% symmetrical, but it is pretty even. And I think where I want to put my starter base, I want to start right around. I'm just going to place a dark oak log, and I'm going to walk around it, and I'm going to make this decision. Start doing just a little bit of a. I think that's going to be the first corner of my house. And from here, what I want to do is I want the front of my house to be. I don't know yet, but I do know I want it at least 10 blocks deep. So from this corner right here, we're going to count over 10 blocks. which everybody can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just gonna plop those down. Let's see what I think about that. Yeah, I do kind of like that. Now, this corner, I'm just gonna come over about 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna put a log there. I know for certain that this wall right here, I want to have at least a 3x3 window, which means that I'm going to want a block on the outside of it and a block on the other side of it. And since my walls are probably going to start right behind this log, as far as the interior goes, this gives me enough room to both decorate and make adjustments and possibly even put in some like window dressings once I'm done. So that's another thing is you kind of want to think about your whole build, but you don't want to get too much into the detail while you're laying it out. Now, I definitely know that I want a porch to come out. Let's say right about there. I'm gonna make this porch 5 blocks wide or 3 blocks. No, you know what? I'm gonna make this entrance 4 blocks wide. I can count this morning. This entrance 4 blocks wide, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna line this one up right here with this. You're probably thinking to yourself, Grumpy Monk, you're making a big box. No, kind of, but not really. All houses, especially starter bases, are generally one large box. However, you can change that. You can just cut it up and make it a little bit more pleasing to the eye, I guess. And the one thing I do really like is symmetry. However, I think for this one, I'm not going to quite be as symmetrical. I really want a large window right here, so we're going to count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to put a block down. And that's going to be the other corner of our base right there. I'm going to come back. Let's go back 3 blocks here because I'm going to have a 3 wide window there. And then I'm going to come over about 8 blocks, making a little like room. I'm not certain if I'll put an enchanting table in there or maybe even make a bedroom. I haven't completely figured out the full floor plan yet. And I'm going to come over and line this one up. That block way over there. So now I've got a little bit of shape coming to this build. And now I think I'm going to bring this back out again. I think I'm going to put a large back porch looking out to that side of the ocean and sort of a desert view. I'll terraform these things, make things look pretty eventually, or I may not. Really, it's up to me. I do know that one of the things I'm going to do is for this island right here, I'm going to build myself another portal. That's exactly where I'm going to put my nether portal, and I'm going to build. I think I'm going to build like a little temple building for it, which we'll be doing in a future episode. Ooh, I didn't realize that. If you look right over there in the distance, I'm very lucky to be right here at a coral reef. And one of the things about coral reefs that makes them so interesting is once they've generated, they don't regrow. Like if you come in and silk touch that whole coral reef, it's not going to grow back, which makes those blocks both very rare, well, not super rare, but they're generally very difficult to find, but also sort of like one of a kind. Even though you can collect a lot of them, the ones that you collect, that's all you can make. You can't really make a coral reef farm in Minecraft, at least not yet. So getting back to it, let me see. Okay, I'm going to bring this wall back to here. And we're back. And as you can see, I have Silidor's vibrant shaders on. And that's because I just wanted to show you all the beauty of Minecraft with shaders. I mean, it looks really good. The water looks real. Uh, Things are still a little bit cartoonish in some ways, but it just makes everything look better. You know, the sky looks real, the sun looks real, and now that you've seen how I like to lay out a base, I never did talk about choosing a block palette, but choosing a block palette can be very crucial to enjoying your base. And, you know, now it's time for the big reveal. So, here you go. This is what I like to call a starter base. Uh, it's a little bit more than just your basic run of the mill house, and it does look really good in shaders, even if I do say so myself. But you know, I didn't go with the basic block. I went with more, I had an outside influence of recommending, I like living at the beach. Why not just make a beach house? So I kind of went with a bungalow palette. I gave it a nice wide stairway. Uh, there's a full porch to it. You sit out here and look at the ocean if you want to. You can just walk around your base if you want to. But the whole point of having a starter base or having a base period is you want it to be nice enough that you want to come back. And you don't want to just, throw everything away and start another world and go, man, I really wish I'd have done this. I really wish I'd have done that. Even though it's okay to say those things, you kind of want to do all of that while you're building it. And as you can see, I didn't stick with just, stacking a bunch of like oak planks or spruce planks or even just spruce logs. I mixed it all up. I used spruce for the doors. I used spruce and stripped oak logs and oak planks and stripped spruce logs for the walls and the frames and the floor. I wound up making some dripstone tile and dripstone cobble walls and dripstone brick, or not dripstone, deep slate brick. For some reason, I have dripstone on mind. Deep slate walls to sort of border out my windows, just so I didn't just have glass going across here. Because if you think about it, a real window doesn't just have straight glass in it. It's got a little bit of a frame to it. And I went ahead and put some stripped oak log or stripped dark oak logs as a border across the top. And for the roof, I did go with more of a plain palette, mainly because if you think about it, most houses that you see, especially if you've ever been to the beach, they don't have real old roofs on them. Like the roofs are generally the newest part uh, of the build, so it's generally all uniform. But the outside of it and the lower portions of it are always sort of weathered and you know non-uniform, and that's part of the reason why I decided let's mix up the block palette a little bit. As you can see, I put fences to add like a lattice and lifted element to the base. And, once I decorate the inside of it, which we may get into later this episode, there's one other project I'd like to get to before I decorate the inside of my base. Just aesthetically, and when you look at it, even if you're looking at it from a distance, I mean, I think I have a boat somewhere. We can jump in a boat and ride around my little island, and I can show you. Like when you're coming up on it, it just looks good, and that sort of gives you a little sense of accomplishment, a sense of joy. There's a boat right there, and pride in what you're coming back to. Uh, Whether you've been off exploring or whether you know, just jumping back into your world. I mean, it's just something that looks really nice that that you built. At least that's how I feel about it. Some people may not feel that way, but I like to make things that at least look a little pretty. Um, and as you can see, the sun's starting to go down, so it's just about time to go to sleep. So I might have to jump into my mine, which I didn't bore y'all with all the early game grind and jumping into the new world because we had already been through that in the world that I inconsequentially lost. but I did make a strip mine, and yes, I have done a lot of strip mining off camera. As you can see, it goes down there quite a ways. I've got a little path that goes over here and goes, you know, down this way a ways, and I even had a very difficult time finding any diamonds, even with all of the strip mining. I've lost a lot of iron from dying, but as you can see, I've only collected about 27 diamonds with all of this strip mining. So I don't. I've seen a few reports from other YouTubers saying that the diamond generation and emerald ore generation has uh, been bugged for 1.17, but honestly, I'm not sure and I don't know, and I came down here to go to sleep. But getting back to it, yeah, diamonds seem to be really difficult to find. So I've honestly personally gotten to the point where I think what I want to do instead of mining for diamonds, I think I'm going to attempt to just use what diamonds I have to make a little bit of diamond armor. But I think in the next episode, for certain, the next episode, we're going to get into villager breeding and villager trading. But for this episode, what I'd like to do is I'm going to grab this crafting table and stone cutter right here. And we're going to come over to this little island. And I think I'm going to cut away and clear this little sand dune island out. But the first thing I want to do is I kind of want to make me a little just plank path over there. And I don't have any planks. Or not planks, slabs. I think I'm just going to use a bit of a when you're building a little path or bridge, you don't have to be 100% straight and uniform with it. Like, do something at an angle. Make it a little bit, you know, non-conformist. Don't just, build a straight path out. You'll find that you're much happier if you take the time to sort of work it out on how to make it not just a square, make it a little bit angled. And of course, my bridge is going to actually take a little bit of a couple steps down after it comes to the island, even though it started off, straight even with my land at the start. See right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build 3 blocks out. So I've got a straight little bit here. Right there. So yeah, I think I want to get rid of this right here. Yeah. Yeah. Do I just want that to come straight? I think I do want it just to come right out here like this. Just like that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a set of stairs right here because all of this is going to get leveled down to sea level. We're going to come back and this up. Move this to right here. And I'm just feeling oak for this whole build. Like, I don't know exactly why, but Oak just seems to be the right choice for what I want to do. Even though my build's not going to be out of oak, it's actually going to be out of variants of stone. I don't know, I'm just feeling the oak vibe for the bridge. Yeah, I kind of like that. Over here, I can do. See, now I've got the starts of a nice little bridge, and I can even come in and grab my slabs. I can add a little bit of decoration to it. I can come up one more on these sides here. I think I'm gonna make a few oak posts. Actually, no. I think I am gonna break it up just a little bit. I think I want to put dark oak across the top edge of that, just to give it a little bit of contrast to the bright whiteness of the oak. Clear out my inventory just a little. Slabs, yeah. That should be enough. Dark oak fences. Indeed. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with my house. Just put fence posts and then top it off with a slab. That'll look pretty good for a nice little bridge. And like I said, it's really, this is my world. This is how I want to make it. You do your world. You can make it however you want to make it. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly like mine. It can, find your own voice, your own creativity. It's one of the lovely things about Minecraft is it doesn't matter. You can't mess up. There's really no way to mess up. You can misplace a block, but I mean nothing is really permanent except falling in lava or getting blown up. And even then the items that you lose are really inconsequential because you can always either village or trade for more or go mining and purchase more or have more. No, I don't like that. I don't like that very much at all. No, that's not. Hmm. It does look kind of good. Something's just not there. I don't know. I'll have to come back to that. And sometimes you do just have to walk away from something and come back to it. I mean, yeah, something's just missing. I don't know what it is, but something is definitely just missing from there. Anyhow, we'll figure it out later. I'm gonna cut out and dig this sand up real quick, and then I'll come back to you, and we'll start our official build. And in case you're wondering what I'm going to build, I'm actually going to be moving all of those little cows over to here because yes, I'm going to have my another portal over here, but I also think I'm going to have my beef and leather farm over here too. And my favorite way to do it is to not just have a pen full of cows. Like I like to feed them and use entity cramming in order to kill the cows. That way I'm not personally doing it. I'm just basically feeding them to death. So I'll come back as soon as I'm done digging the sand up. And we're back. I wasn't certain if any of y'all had ever seen this trick with digging out sand, but if you take a torch and you just wait until that second block right there is just about to drop, and place it underneath of it. Of course, if you do it too quickly, they're just going to sit there and float in the air. Wait till it's just about to drop, you can break the sand and save durability on your shovel. Easy as, of course, a little bit too quick on placing it, but of course, as I was always told, practice makes perfect. So as you get better at doing it, it's kind of a second nature to you, and you'll find that digging sand is no longer really like it actually takes less time to do it like this, especially if you're mining out a huge hill or something like that, where there's like a layer 5 or 6 deep of or tall of sand. Now that I have this all flattened out, I think what I want to do, got my little bridge coming out here. I'm really unhappy with this thing. I think this is going to get changed quite a bit in between episodes. I haven't quite decided what I want to do with it. The only part about it I do like is this little entrance here. I think what I'm going to do is I kind of have a idea as to what I want all this to kind of be about. Like I said, I want to put something that kind of resembles a temple, but when I think of ancient temples and ancient cultures, they always believed that they had to have a sacrifice in order to get appeasement from their gods. And since we're putting our nether portal over here, I don't want to make it, even if at first, later I'm going to see if I can't hook some redstone up and make it so that the portal activates when we kill some cows, which is doable with redstone if I remember correctly. I just have to think about how I want to do it. But I definitely think I want to put my cow or my beef and leather farm right in this area here. I've already decided on my block tile. What I'm going to do is put all this sand away. And no, that's not a wandering trader head in my inventory or a llama head. No, not at all. Not at all. That's my face. That's always been my face. I swear. One of the mods that I have on this mod pack is the increased drop from mob heads. So, of course, I think I'm going to use that as a bit of a decoration because, like I said, the more I think of, okay, we're going to use an ancient temple as our design or as our cover for our portal, we're also going to use, I think I'm going to decorate it with mob heads, mainly wandering trader heads. I think that would, I don't know how that's going to look, but yeah. So for my black palette, I've cooked up a bit of stone, and I'm going to take the stone cutter, and I think I'm going to fix that right there. I'm definitely going to have some stone brick walls. A dozen of those. I need about that. Actually, we're just going to do a full stack of stairs. I'm going to grab some bricks. Definitely going to grab a few. But we're probably not going to get to using those this episode. And basically what I'm going to do is hoppers and my chests in my inventory. And I'm going to show you guys how to make a cow crusher. And at least I've always called it a cow crusher. I don't remember exactly who showed this to me first. But I do know that it is a pretty common way to dispose of cows. So what you first do is you put down a double chest, and then you want to have a hopper going into that double chest. Now, the design that I use, you only use one double chest, but I use more than one. I have more than one set of cows set up, and you'll understand that more as the build goes on. So that's going to be my second one here, and then I'm going to put a hopper going into that hopper, and that's going to be my third one going in there. I think 3 might be enough. No, let's go ahead and do a couple more. There's 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, 6 seems like a good number. One thing I am going to check is I'm going to hit F3 and G for Java and make sure that I have not crossed any chunk borders. Ooh, wow. Right on one with those hoppers. That should be fine. Because the cows are actually going to sit on top of this hopper in an enclosed box. So we're going to 3G, get rid of those chunk borders. And now what you want to do is you kind of want to just frame this out. So the block is going all the way around it. On the bottom edge. I'm using stone bricks for this. I think later on I'm going to, actually I don't think I know, later on I'm going to come in and I'm going to throw in some of the mossy and cracked variants of the blocks in here, and I'm going to just dress it up just a little bit up the stairs down as well. I'm definitely going to come back and put some mossy variants in because it has a really aged look to the whole build. Now, on top of your double chest, first what you want to do is go ahead and build it up one more block. And over top of this hopper, you want to make sure that you have a 1 wide space. Go ahead and do the same all the way down. And that should give you 6 little chambers where we will be coaxing very gently the cows into their permanent little home. Over top of your chest, what you're going to want to do is put an upside down staircase. The reason you do that is so that you can open the chest. If you put a solid block on top of your chest, you'll never be able to open it. And then you come back, and in each one of these little holes, that you created, you want to put a bucket of water in there just like that. What the water does is once you've got all of these, once you've got the water in, you want to build up one more block. I'll get this done. You want to build up one block all the way around each one of these. And actually you're going to end up ultimately going up too high across the back. did is they'll fall into this little crack right here, but every once in a while, which is fine, and they'll stay on that. But if they fall inside of this, they have a much better chance of just falling into the hole while you're trying to cook some over here. We go pick up some wheat, and we'll go ahead and get our cows over here. Believe it or not, as long as I'm holding wheat, pretty much all of these guys that can follow me will follow me. I'm about to open a floodgate. There we go. Hey guys. Hey. Oh, come on. Come on. Yeah, we're herding cattle. Yep, little doggies. Come on. Yeah. Hey guys. Come on. Pay attention. Come on. Come on. It's okay if you end up with a few stragglers. Once you start getting the cows in there, you can always come back and they don't wander too far. Let's see if you crouch. Should make this a little bit taller. There you go. You're in. Really, as long as you end up with at least 2 cows in each little hole, you're fine. You'll be able to breed up more cows and be able to get the entity cramming eventually going. As you can see, this is not the easiest thing in the world to get done because cows have minds of their own. But once you get them into that hole in the water, you don't have to worry about them. And you can even push them just a little bit. You just don't want to kill them. That's the only thing you don't want to do. No. Come on. Come on. Yep, there you go. Come on. Yep, come on. There we go. Alright. You too now. Come on, fall down. That's right. That's right. Come on. Fall on down in there. That's right. Fall on top of your buddy there. There we go. Now, let's see if we can't get you to come on. There we go. Crouch so that you don't fall in. You can still walk all the way around. Get the cows. You can come all the way to the edge. Generally, they'll try to pathfind to you and they'll end up falling right into the hole. And now after you do that about, well, at least a dozen times, because you need 2 cows per little contraption here, then I'll show you what to do next. As you can see, I've got quite a few cows I need to get in here, so I'll come back as soon as I'm done moving all of these cows in here. And we're back, and I've got all of the cows in there. And once you get the cows in, you can put down a stone wall. Right, you want to put down a stone wall or a fence post right above them so they don't all just pop out as you're feeding them. And then you want to go ahead and bring your walls down to the level just below where the stone wall is. Or, yeah, you had it up 2 blocks, and you really only needed 1 block so that you can reach the cows. And then as you feed them, and I'm going to go ahead and show you, not just doing like a camera trick. I have produced beef and leather already, but as you can see, none is in there just yet. And then you just come up here and in a semicircular motion, you just want to feed all the cows. And as you feed them, the babies are born, and then adult cows are killed due to entity cramming. And that's how you get the leather and the beef from this. And feed all these guys up. And that's also the reason why I do 6 of them, because otherwise the rates aren't, really good. So basically, in this little area, I think I have like 144 cows just in this little area. And yeah, it takes a little bit more than a stack of wheat to feed everybody fully. And basically, if you just hold down the right button, you can work in this semicircular motion effortlessly. This, however, we'll go ahead and put the disclaimer in there. This only works in Java edition. For Bedrock, entity cramming I don't believe works. I think the cows just sort of push themselves out the side of the block instead of dying. So you basically end up with a whole load of cows that are just, all over the place. But let that sit for just a minute. And as you can see, just out of that one feeding, I have over a stack of beef, over a stack of leather. What you can do, pull that out. I always end up putting like a smoker right here next to it. That way I have a constant supply of food. As you can see, I've taken some out. Show you guys. And that's, your basic cow crusher. And I redesigned this bridge just a little bit, made it a little bit taller, still kept it diagonal, and I'm going to put a roof on it. And I haven't decided if I'm going to add little posts in between here, because skeletons can still shoot you in here. I might add a roof off camera, so I'll show that to you at the beginning of the next episode. I believe in the next episode what we'll be doing, I haven't really decided yet. I'll probably announce it at the beginning, but we're either going to go ahead and build the temple and build our nether portal, or we're going to go over here to this village and I'll show you about the easiest way to pick up and transport villagers, and we'll go ahead and build a villager's breeder over there in the swamp. And yeah, I believe that's about it. I may also off camera, because no, not in between these episodes. In between another episode, I am going to go find a jungle just because it makes things a whole lot easier. I have a couple of builds that we're going to be up in the sky. One is going to be my iron farm, and the other is going to be my hostile mob farm, so we can start getting mob drops like gunpowder and bones and plenty of arrows. I believe that witches also fall in it, so we'll be getting redstone, glowstone, sticks, empty water bottles, and things like that. But I definitely know for certain that over in that area somewhere is where I want to put my villager breeder. So we'll be probably doing that next episode. Like I said, I haven't quite decided yet. But as I said before, that's the conclusion of this episode. And probably in between episodes, I'm going to go ahead and decorate the inside. May